Good morning everyone. Let's continue to episode 2. Last time we went to episode 1. Well, let's start. Who are the Israelites? It is a nation that was chosen by God to be his people. The Jews are a nation that come from, or is a nation that come from the house of Judah, who was the fourth son of Jacob. It is the nation that survived being captured by Babylonians and uh, all other situation that came along after that. But well, that will be discussed later. They survived losing their identity, which is the case of their brothers, like the brothers of those others who were also kids or children of Jacob. However, it seems now that the Jews have become a religion, no longer a nation. It is difficult to distinguish the Jews who are descendants of Jacob and those who are converted religiously. As one can see in the Islam religion, it is not Arabs who are Muslim, but it is whether you want to convert to the religion. It is also same with Christianity. It is a religion that was started in Jerusalem by the Jews who were Christ disciples, extended to other nations such as the Greeks and Romans, until it reached the northwestern countries. How did God choose his nation? Before the floods, we know that we don't know anything about the Hebrew tribe, but we hear about the history of human creatures' existence and its relation to the Creator. Adam's disobedience in the Garden of Eden brought a curse and a blessing in the human creature. Satan was always there to destroy God's plan for his creation. It started in the Garden of Eden. After the destruction of the earth, God started over the life of human beings through Noah, who survived the flood. As I have said, evil had always been against God's purpose. Noah had 3 sons. They obeyed his father, but not every grandson did so. Ham had his children. Ham was another son of was one of the sons of Noah. Ham had his children. Among them there was Nimrod, who stood out the most. He was the one who built the Tower of Babel, and he was one who stood up to God and misled the people with his new religion of many gods, polytheism. In one of the descendants of Noah's sons, there was also Shem, the second son. His one, I will not put them according to who's older or who's younger, because even in the Bible, I don't know whether it was mentioned that Shem was old or Ham was old. I don't know. But by the fact that Ham had a son, Canaan, probably he was older. But there is no arrangement of according to their age. But also there is Japhet as well. But I didn't put Japhet yet. But we're now seeing that we're now discovering there is also Shem as well. He's one who did well in the eyes of God. His descendants are found in the book of Genesis chapter 10, verses 10 to 57. This is where we meet Abraham, who is an ancestor of the Hebrew nation. In our times, we know Jews who pray the God of Abraham and Isaac. We will name them Okay, this is where we meet Abraham, who is ancestor of Hebrew nation. In our times, we know Jews who pray the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. We will name them all who also pray the same God. Now we come across to another person called Terah. Terah bore Abraham along with his brothers Nahor and Haran. They lived in Ur, the land of Chaldeans. Haran had a child whose name was Lot. But Haran didn't live long and died and left his son to his brother Abram, lived with Lot. Terah took his children along with grandson Lot and went to the place called Haran. Jehovah instructed Abram to leave his land, Haran, and his relatives to land he would command him, and he promised him that he would make him a great nation. That's found from Genesis chapter 12, verse 2 to 3. Abram continued to walk well in the God's eye and stayed in Canaan, which was the land promised for his descendants, that they would be as numerous as the stars of the sky and the sands of the sea. He lived with his wife Sarai, as well as Lot, his brother's son, who after a while got separated because their livestock, which were too much, and there was constant quarrel between the herdsmen. Abraham left his dwelling place for Egypt because of the famine that had struck Canaan. That's found from Genesis 12, Genesis chapter 12, verse 10 to 20. That's where Sarai was given a maid, Hagar, whom she eventually left with when they returned to Canaan. They came back to Canaan with a lot of wealth. Abraham and Sarai were childless, so Sarai spoke to Abraham that her maid should be given him. Her maid should be given to him, so that she can bore him a son. Hagar bore Abraham a child. This is from Genesis chapter 16. You can read the whole chapter. When Hagar saw that she was able to get pregnant, she forgot her place. Her rightful place is a servant. It was a slave or a servant, put that way. The story is told in Genesis chapter 16, verses 5 to 16. Having fled from Sarai's presence in a well, Hagar met an angel whom informed her about her future, that she was with a son, and ordered her to return home. In Genesis chapter 7, we see God rekindling his covenant with Abram and giving him a new name. That is, that he will be called Abraham, the father of many nations. The covenant stipulated he and his male offspring be circumcised, and those who were bought with money, who are not descendants, like slaves and workers, not coming from his loins, must be as well circumcised. The covenant will be in their flesh with God. This is where God assured Abraham that his wife will also give him a son who would be named Isaac, and Hagar would give birth to a child who will also become a great nation. The child will be named Ishmael, but God will establish an eternal covenant with Abraham's son Isaac. Did I mention that Sarai was also blessed, and then she was called Sarah, the mother of nations, as her husband was also blessed as Abraham? I think I didn't mention that. but it's like that as well. So let's go back to the reason why I'm doing this, guys. I'm trying to establish here those people are called the lost 10 tribes of Israel. I'm sure this has been done extensively by most people who have the good apparatus to conduct such a kind of research. They have done excavation, they have done a lot to decode that this is true, or where they are actually. Well, but I also mentioned that I'm doing this for my church, just as a discussion, just to learn more about the Bible. But again, to understand those 10 tribes of Israel, where they are, we should start from starting from the background of who are the Israelites and where they come from. Again, we need to understand that the first person was created by God. Didn't end in the Eden, Garden of Eden. This is I won't say we are a project, but I can say that it's a project that God really continued with as a human creature. It did not end in the Garden of Eden. So as you are who you are right now, your first your first ancestor is with where does he come from? Bible seems to be the only book that has the complete history of a human being. Not like a scientist tell us that we were like gorillas. We come from water. It does not really show us how did we become men and all those families and all those stuff. It did not. But God created the man in his image, and also he made his wife from his rib. That's what we are told from the Bible. So that's why I'm using the Bible as well as the main chief source of information. We'll keep on reminding you why I'm doing this as we move on, guys. As for now, let's say thank you for listening, and then we'll catch each other on the other episode, that episode. Thank you for listening.